Hi, I'm Lulu Masters and I'm going to show you how to clean this window. So we are on the second story of my home and it's really difficult to reach the inside panes of a second story window, especially when you have an old-fashioned window like this that doesn't hinge forward. For the newer windows you can just unhinge them and then use the exact same methods that I am showing you today. But for the older windows you're going to have to get a little bit down and dirty to get inside so that the entire surface is clean and see-through. I removed the screen to do this project and also clean the sills while I'm going. So I'll show you some quick and easy methods to use. I have some interesting tools that I like to use to clean windows, but if you don't have these tools you can still do the same methods at home using other things. So you can see here the sill is really dirty. This hasn't been cleaned in quite some time. And the screen is also quite dirty, so I'll also clean that before replacing it. The windows have some streaks on the outside. They're quite dingy. There's a lot of cobwebs outside and they really need to be done. So just stick with me as I clean and I'll show you the before and after and the methods to do it. I have my tools all set up here. I have a chamois, a microfiber cloth, a regular washcloth, a squeegee, a toothbrush, not your bathroom toothbrush, extra water, my steamer, my vacuum and attachments, my dog Bella, and a bucket of soapy water. I use just a natural detergent in here and it's just very hot water with a little bit of soap. So if you don't have a steamer, you don't need it. I like to use it for the windows, but I'll also explain how you can do it without. So I removed the screen and I just place it to the side and I will clean it before I put it back. I then take my vacuum cleaner and I start to get all of the debris out of the windowsill. I also vacuum the cobwebs up and down the shutters and vacuum as much as I can reach outside as well. I then take the vacuum and vacuum each individual pane, making sure that I get all of the dust off. I use the attachment that has the soft head so I don't scratch any of the paint along the windowsill. I next take my bucket with my soapy water and I wipe down all of the sill and along the window as well because I'm actually going to be sitting upon the sill and I don't want to get my clothes dirty. Grab my regular washcloth and start to dry down the surfaces, removing any excess dirt. I then grab my steamer and I start to steam clean each individual pane. I'm using the long head attachment here so that I can reach the window. I give special attention to each window pane with the steamer so that I can get rid of any particles or stuck on gunk that remains on the window. I take my squeegee and I squeegee each dry, and I am certain to wipe the squeegee with my cloth between every single panel so that I don't leave streaks. I then move to the upper sills. You can see it's more of a reach, but I'm still able to concentrate and get a lot of that gunk off before I use the squeegee. I have to admit that this part can make you a little bit uneasy if you have a fear of heights, so if you do, it's best to work with a partner and have them hold you as you hang out the window. Now would be a good time for me to give you a word of warning that if you are using a steamer to clean your windows, just make sure you don't do it during the winter months because it can actually crack the glass of your windows, and I know you don't want that to happen. I should also mention that I use the cloth to wipe down the exterior sills after I do each window, including the top. Now comes the really annoying part, the sill that nobody can reach, the one that always stays dirty. So what I'm doing here is pushing the steamer up between the sill as best I can. And now comes the moment of truth. Is my arm long enough? No. So what do we do now? Well, since my arm has not grown to enormous proportions, I had to become a little clever. So here's what I did. I took a wire hanger and bent the hanging part inward with a wire tool. Then I placed the hanger inside a microfiber sleeve. If you don't have a microfiber sleeve, try a microfiber cloth held in place with a hair tie. Then I use the cloth and the hanger and push it into the sill between the opposite sills, so I'm getting the panes right in between. This is probably the most difficult part of cleaning this window, and it will be a little bit annoying, but be patient with yourself and try as many tools as you can to get up in there. As you can see, I had to approach the window from both the top and the bottom in order to get the entirety of the window clean. Now I'll repeat the exact same process on the interior of the window. So some of you may be wondering what you should do if you don't have a steam cleaner. Well, I highly recommend getting one because I love my steam cleaner. I use it for all sorts of tasks. But if you don't have a steam cleaner, you can actually just use hot water. So if you want to do green cleaning the way I like, which is using as minimal chemical processes as possible, then you can actually just take a bottle of hot water and spray it on the exterior windows that are harder to reach, and use a bucket of hot water for the interior windows, and again apply the squeegee. I find that the steam cleaner does loosen a lot of the grime along the sill, which is why I continue to wipe it as I go. But if you don't have the steam cleaner, that's when the toothbrush comes in handy. You can use your hot water and then get into the crevices by using the toothbrush and loosening a lot of that dirt. By continuing to wipe the sills after every step, you actually are loosening any dirt that's older and harder to get. Even though there are a lot of steps, this window took me about 20 minutes to do completely, excluding the screen. So it's not that bad, and it really only needs to be done once or twice a year. To finish my window, I'm using the flathead attachment of my steamer. Again, if you don't have a steamer, you can use a clean bucket of water. Don't use the water from earlier that already had been contaminated with other dirt. Try to use a clean bucket, especially if you have white sills like me. As you can see now, the window is clean inside and out, including the sills, inside. Cobwebs are all gone, and we are done.